Hi there, my name's Matt Coombs. I'm currently a postgraduate student researching the aesthetics of invented languages, and my reason for recording these videos is that I'm going to make an attempt to guide you through the basics of Elvish writing as part of my studies. So for those of you that aren't yet aware of what Elvish is, it's a fictitious or artistic language created by J.R.R. Tolkien, the author behind books such as The Hobbit, The Silmarillion, and more popular, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But I'll assume that most of you watching are aware of the existence of Elvish. But just in case, here is an example of Elvish writing. Cue slide. In the upcoming videos, we're going to learn about Elvish languages and how we go about writing them. But before I go any further, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the other videos posted here on YouTube relating to the same topic, as there has been some contradictions between them, and this is one of my reasons for beginning my own videos. So that is to say that whilst some may be showing there being a single alphabet and one exclusive character for each letter of the recognised Latin alphabet, the truth is that there's more than one Elvish language out there, and therefore more than one way of writing it. So it's my purpose to give you the theory behind the language, or the languages I should say, and a sense of how it is structured, and therefore how to write in Elvish. And if you're looking to eventually learn to speak Elvish, then this is a great point to start as well. There are a number of concepts to introduce during the videos, so I'll try and keep things as clear as possible and give as many examples as I can. I might throw in a few literary anecdotes just for good measure, just to give my viewers a little trivia along the way. For example, that whilst many will consider Tolkien to be primarily an author, this wasn't originally his purpose. Following his upbringing in what was a multilingual household, and following his studies and his initial career trajectory, Tolkien began writing the languages which would later form a part of his books. However, the intention of his books were to promote the aforementioned languages, acting as a medium through which he could be recognised as a successful linguist, but instead he became better known for his creativity as a fictional writer. But now, thanks to the likes of Peter Jackson and the influence of the internet, coupled with online groups and fandoms filled with the likes of nerds, myself included of course, delivering further into the construct of the languages, I like to think that his dream has been fulfilled to some extent, and it's currently being maintained and kept alive by his son Christopher Tolkien. Anyway, back to the subject in hand. I can hear many of you ask, will I be able to write Elvish as easy as I can write English, or whatever your native tongue might be? The answer to which is quite simply yes, but only by learning the logic and theory associated with the languages. It's not simply enough to show you a symbol and say this is the associated lettering, as it would be forgotten just as soon as it is learnt. But knowing why a symbol is given a particular letter will cement your knowledge and help you to progress far quicker. Throughout the videos, I would invite all of you watching, hopefully subscribing, to ask any questions that you might have. You can post them on the page here or message me directly. I'd like to help all of you understand how to be able to write Elvish for yourselves. There was nothing of this kind when I took an interest in Elvish myself a few years ago, so it's now my intention to help those who, like myself at that time, are looking to learn, but to learn correctly. What I'll demonstrate in my videos is not my interpretation of of mere common knowledge of the subject, but a result of genuine interest in Elvish and many months of reading and research, and as previously mentioned, the studies from my own research with De Montfort University. I should mention at this juncture that the course with De Montfort is being pioneered by my tutors and myself, so please feel free to ask anything about my course, but please bear in mind that the course itself is not yet complete, but then again, you might be watching this video in months, years, depending on how long it's here, so that's a bit of a moot point actually. But anyway, moving on. So to explain what I'll be doing in more detail, and to give you an insight into what to expect, each video will be approaching a particular topic, some which will have more relevance to the writing of Elvish than others, but everything I'll be speaking of will be a necessity to learning how to write in Elvish, and watched in succession, and with a bit of practice on your part, you'll be able to write very fluently. I intend to break the course down into approximately 10 parts, each running a similar length to the previous, but please forgive me if this changes a little, such as these things do. Anyway, the first part, we will look at the origins of Elvish, and the path taken by Tolkien which led him to create the languages. We'll also look at how the languages evolved and the extent to which each one became a full language. Following this, I'll talk of the different languages within Elvish and how they affect the written word, including the aesthetics of the glyphs, the symbols that are used for the languages, and how they were used and by whom. Next would be inevitably the science part, but whether or not you're from a background in linguistics, this will still be relatively straightforward to comprehend. The section will probably span 2, maybe 3 videos. The first discussing phonetics, giving an overview of what they are and the role that they play in Elvish languages, and subsequently a guide to pronunciation. I'll elaborate on that a little further, highlighting the variations between the dialects and the difference that phonetics has on each one of them. Following that, I'll start with the first writing system, the Sirati. Following that would be the Surth and other related systems that use the rune-based lettering, such as the Gondolin system, moon letters, and maybe 1 or 2 more. So the Sirati, here is an example of that, another side, which you'll find not too dissimilar to what is known as the Tengwa system, which is possibly the most popular, which some of you may be familiar with. And then the Surth, which I'll show you the other side, and the main difference being between these ones is that the Surth is one of the languages which were more accessible to other inhabitants of Middle-earth, and not only the elves and the high elves, the Noldor. It would be used to write on natural materials such as stone, maybe metal and wood, as it's a lot more rigid in its structure. Anyway, following that, we'll come on to the aforementioned Tengwa system, which will cover the Quenya and Sindarin languages, and we'll look at both, noting the difference between the two, and uncovering why it's known primarily for its aesthetic appeal more than anything else, as it's often appreciated purely on the shapes alone, which is why a lot of people like seeing it. A lot of people have got tattoos written in this language. I'll finish the course with a section on writing your own systems based on a knowledge of your choice. It's perfectly possible to adapt Elvish to suit a number of languages, assuming that the relevant phonemes are covered. All of the videos that I'll upload, as I said, will have examples attached where I can, so I can illustrate what it is I'm talking about. And finally, such as is customary with videos on YouTube, I'm open to any comments and suggestions from anybody. I'd also like to think that the information that I present here to be as accurate as possible, but should anybody know anything differently, again, I'd ask you to get in touch so I can highlight it in my videos. I'll try to upload the next part of my videos as often as I can, but I do have a very stressful day job, and I'm studying for my degree, as I said, so please be patient. But in the meantime, please feel free to ask any questions in between my posts, and I'll be really happy to hear from you, and even happy to help. So thank you all very much for watching my first video. Please feel free to subscribe, and I hope you'll be looking forward to my next post. I'll see you all soon. Thanks.